Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Rio, and today we're going to be having my Louis Le Bisque and Pepe Detorteau guide. Before we start out, let me just tell you, they are pretty much the exact same thing, so this guide will apply to both of them. So first, let's just go over, let's just get right into it. So first of all, 4.5 movement. I mean, they can move 4.5 squares, so they can move 4 forward, or they can move 3 forward and 1 diagonal, right? A diagonal square counts as half a movement, and they have 4.5 movement. Pretty normal movement for a musketeer, nothing too special here. So yeah, just some pretty average movement. Next, they have 5 range. So this is absolutely great. All right, 5 range is super good.
Yes, Captain.
Because it means you can outrange lots of popular musket units like Exeter, Nausicaa, Bill Peacock, Lumba Moonskull, lots of popular 4-range units, and many other 4-range units. But yeah, he's great at outranging those 4-range units and making it so they cannot respond with any epics of their own, or, you know, even if they don't have any responding epics, just being able to not hit you, but you can hit them during a turn, right? So very nice. Nice above average range. So yeah, great. So now let's go over the abilities. First, we got Super Strike. This is a pretty nice, solid hit. And if you have double tap, which, you know, every single good setup on Pepe or Louis has at least 1 double tap. So, you know, you get a nice hit for like at least 600 and then a double tap. So very nice. Next, we have Rain of Mortar Shells. Now, in my opinion, this is an underrated ability right here. Rain of Mortar Shells. It's a very good ability, in my opinion. So, let's just go over what it has. So, as you can see on the card, it says 6 range. But, it's in a 3x3 radius. And the 6 range is the middle of the radius. So, in reality, if you count the edge of the radius, which I will, it's more of a 7-range card. So it's a super high range ability. It's the longest range ability of any companion. So it's a very nice super long range ability you can use. The ability is great for combos. So you can combo with other Rain of Mortar Shells from other Pepe and Louis. You can combo with Bonnie and Scatter Blast in terms of like main companion combos you might do. You know, those any AoE hit. But the other thing is, if you have Witch Doctor Pirates, you can do like Mojo Storm combos with these. Or if you have Musketeer Pirates, you can, I don't know my Musketeer right now, but you can combo them with the Musketeer Bombs, right? The Hail of Cannonballs and the Tempest of Torpedoes, right? So it's very good if you're able to stack the damage with multiple. Just using one of these, you know, 342 damage per unit. It's not great, but when you combo it for a lot of damage, it's kind of like Lumba Moonskull. You know, the 325 damage is not great, but when you combo with a lot more big guns, the damage adds up. So that's really what I think of this ability. Like, it's not great by itself, but when you combo it with more AoE abilities, it can do a lot of damage. And I'm gonna be right back to show you Louis Le Bisque for this next thing. So here we are with Louis Le Bisque, just because I want to show you one thing in particular. I had Pepe showing because I think he looks slightly cooler. But yeah, the final thing he has is Bear Trap. And this is the only difference between the companions, is that Louis Le Bisque has Bear Trap and Pepe does not have Bear Trap. It's a nice 952 damage, right? So, you know, good damage if they step in it. And essentially, it's good for, like, putting it behind a pillar. So if they want to hide, you know, low health units behind obstacles to, like, you know, hide line of sight or something, Bear Trap can help stop that. And it's also good, you know, if they're trying to make a musket line, you can break formation with that Bear Trap and put it in a slot that they're trying to put a musketeer in, right? So, yeah, nothing too special. The one other thing you can do is if you're running a Ratbeard and you have the Louis Le Bisque before the Ratbeard, you can put down the Bear Trap behind a unit and then you use Ratbeards clear the decks, which will knock them back on square. So you can knock them into the trap. And if you combine it with your own Musketeer's Bear Trap, right? If you combine them both, that's like over 2,000 damage. So if you that is the a combo you can do if you have Rapier and Louis Le Bisque. So yeah. Now the one other thing to note is that they have 68 armor. This is higher than any other musketeer. The second highest would be, I think, Eggster with like 44. But these guys have 68 armor. So it's very nice, making them a bit more tanky. And this is 68 armor without giving them armored or anything. I would not recommend giving them armored. But yeah, it just makes them a bit more tanky, a bit more survivable. You know, they can take a little less damage from big guns and any melee hitters, right? So it definitely makes them a bit more tanky. So yeah. Alright, so now let's talk about pricing and promotions and all that. So, Louis Le Bisque is obviously free to musketeers. Yeah, you get him. He's free. And here is Pepe Detorteau. He is 5,995 crowns, so about 6 to 12 bucks, depending how you buy your crowns. But he will sometimes go on sale for 3,500 crowns or so, which I think he did pretty recently. There was an all companion sale, and he was on sale for 3,500. So there he is, 6,000 crowns. And yeah, so that is how he looks unpromoted. Yep. Now we're gonna go to the tavern seller, promote him. You guys can see the pricing and stuff. This is not something I'm going to do in all of my companion guides, but some people who do really want to see this, or some people just, you know, they're interested in this. So yeah, you know, I want to give the information about him. So yeah, first promotion, 1,700 gold. It goes from harpooner to gunner.
One of your companions is ready for a promotion. Go find him in a tavern cellar.
And then after he's a crab gunner, if the game will work, 4,800 to promote him to crab cannoneer, which you're gonna see in a second. There we go. Now I will talk more about setups in a bit, but I'm just gonna show you me actually setting him up. I'll talk about the different setups and why I use them in right after this. But I will just show you me setting him up in case people wanted to see that. Cause yeah, why not? People like to see what he can get, the different stuff he can get, and all that. So might as well show it to him. But yeah, I give him quick draw 3. Then I give him double tap 2. And then I give him return fire 1. This is my personal setup. This is my anti-musketeer setup, and I'll talk more about it later. But yeah, this is just how I set him up. Got accurate 4. We got dodgy 4. Help that return fire and help him be a little more survivable. You know, he has a lot of armor. If you give him a lot of dodgy, he'll be surviving a little longer than some of your other musketeers, hopefully. So yeah, give him that max tough, and then put the final, you know, extra point into Agile 1, as you can see right here. There we go. There's the promotions. There's his price. All of that. Now let's move on to, I guess, setups. All right. So for the setups. So for the talents, I would always recommend running these. If you have them set a little bit differently, it's not the biggest deal, you know, if you don't have membership to reset them. But if you can reset them, or if you just do not know how to train them, I like to go accurate 4, dodgy 4, rough 4, tough 4, and agile 4. You know, literally every companion you give accurate 4, rough 4, and tough 4, obviously. And then the reason why I go dodgy instead of agile 4 is due to the fact that this guy, he does not really have stuns. So instead, I'd rather have him dodge stuns if he's going against, you know, Truget 3 units, right? And then also make him a bit more survivable. You know, he has so much armor. I want to take advantage of his survivability and also give him dodgy to keep him survivable. And then the other thing is, for this setup that I currently run, in my opinion, the best setup is I have return fire 1 on him, so the dodgy will give a little bit more of a chance of getting that return fire to trigger. So yeah, that's why I go that talent setup. I would always recommend that no matter what. Now, for the power setup. This setup right here is what I would say is a pretty standard setup, pretty standard anti-musketeer setup. So let's just go over it. He starts with Overwatch 1. There's no way to get rid of this. He's always gonna have Overwatch 1. It's not you know, the best thing, but whatever. It's not terrible. Now I gave Quick Draw 3. Being able to counter other musketeers by giving him Quick Draw 3 is going to be nice, of course. Being able to just, you know, attack before they attack. Yeah, pretty standard counter musketeer thing. Quick Draw 3. I have double tap 2 because I want him to get some chains, and I might as well, you know, I have the practice points, or the points I'm going to put into double tap 2. And then finally, I gave him return fire for the last one. Instead of giving him double tap 3, the reason why I do not want double tap 3 is because it'll make it go off of agility instead of accuracy. So I do not really want that. And then I gave him return fire 1 because there was just an extra thing. And he's an anti-musketeer, so if he dodges, that'll do a nice chunk of damage. Now, the only other setup I would recommend would be an anti-melee setup. So if you're playing against a lot of chargers or whatever, you can go this setup: Overwatch 3. Quick Draw 3, and then double tap 1. This is great. It's like a, you know, it can be anti-musketeer and anti-melee. I don't prefer that setup. I genuinely just, you know, I mainly use them for 3v3s and 2v2s when I'm against a lot of musketeer units, and there's just not going to be charging enough for it to be worth me putting Overwatch 3 on them. But if you are playing on a lot of chargers, even just some chargers, it could be worth putting Overwatch 3 on him. And then you can have, you know, the bit of both worlds. Quick Draw 3, Overwatch 3, and double tap 1. Yeah, those are the only 2 steps I would recommend. Yeah. Now, I very briefly want to touch on what what kind of PvP I would use him for, what situations I would use him for. Like I already said, I personally use mine as an anti-musketeer. So, you know, if there's a lot of musketeers, he's a great anti-musketeer, and he has 5 range. So sometimes, if I really want to go a bunch of 5 range units, I can go like, you know, Bonnie and Pepe Detorteau and like Jane Canary or something on my private. You know, if you want another 5 range unit, he's great. He's great for outranging. If someone has a team of a bunch of 4 range musketeers, you can bring, you know, some Pepe Detorteaus and Louis Bisques to kind of counter that. I would not recommend using either of them in 1v1. The only time he'd be okay in 1v1 would be, I guess, on Musketeer for the Rat Trap combo, like I already mentioned, where you put the trap behind the person and then you knock them into it with the Rapier, clear the decks. But I don't think it's worth it. I just do not think it's worth running in 1v1. But for 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4 with the fort glitches ever fixed, he's great. He has this. Is great for comboing good groups of units, right? He has 5 range. He's great to put in a musket line. He's got the quick draw for countering musketeers. Can ensure some kills. He's great for team PvP if you want another musketeer, and you know, he has 5 range. So he's great for countering musketeers, and there's a lot of musketeers in 2v2 and 3v3. So this guy's great for 2v2 and 3v3 because he's random more shells and 5 range. So yeah, I would use him in 2v, but 1v1 I would stay away from using this guy. There's just better alternatives, and you're also probably not going to need that many musketeer units in a 1v1. Or even if you do, there's just better alternatives. But for Team PvP, he's great. Love that 5 range. Alright guys, so I've pulled up kind of like a, you know, I don't know, mock 2v2 type situation to show you guys this in action. So yeah, I made kind of like a mock 2v2 type of situation because I want to show you some of the strategy and whatnot to this. So yeah, pulled up for my accounts mock 2v2 type situation. So I'm just gonna show you how this might work. I don't have my musketeer account showing right now, but I'm gonna put a bear trap right in front of this Bonnie Ann right here, the Fox Highlander right here. I'm going to put a bear trap right in front of her. And yeah, I'm just going to put a bear trap right in front of her. And I'm going to show you how I can kind of block out a musket line first of all. So look at this. I put the bear trap in front of her. Now I'm going to fan out into a musket line on my other 2 accounts, right? And I'm going to show you how this Bonnie Ann is kind of like stuck, right? As you can see, the Bonnie Ann has to linger back. So that is one way to use Louis Le Bisque's trap, is if they're trying to get into a musket line at a certain place, you can stop it by putting the bear trap. Now I want to get into the main parts of the combos. So as you can see, this range right here, right? It has 7 range, all right? Because of that edge square, that's 7. So it does make it very, very nice. Here, I'm gonna bring him like down right there, just to show you a mock scenario. But yeah, the 7 range is insanely good for combos, and if you bring 2 of them up for combos, that can be a lot of potential damage. Alright, so here's where the combos come in. As you can see, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 range. 6 range will be right on top of them. But as you can see, the square right there, that's 7 range. So even if he was back here, right here, I would still be able to hit them just barely on the edge. But I'm gonna show you what you can do is you can combo them. And when you include abilities from your pirates, if I had my Bonnie Anns up here, I could scatter blast and whatnot. I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to show you something that's pretty dang dirty right here. And I'm going to potentially get a cheap kill on one of these units. Let me just show you this. You know, you can drop big guns, alright? You drop their stuff, right? Both of their bombs. It's going to add up to a bunch of damage. So one other thing you can do is this. The Powder Monkey Palisade combo. You can do it by dropping the bombs on the Powder Monkey Palisade preemptively on the squares where it's going to be. And it can do a bunch of damage. You're going to see this. I'm going to drop the bombs on the powder kegs. Look at all that damage. That's a great way to use that. Look how low we got that Exeter in 1 turn just from combo hits, right? That is part of the power of these guys. It's just due to how good their combos really are, right? So that's some of the combo potential. You can do it with the powder kegs, and you can also just, even without powder kegs, if you combine some of your other team's abilities like musketeer bombs and some other stuff, it can add up to a lot of damage. So I really wanted to show you guys that. So finally, I want to give my closure on these companions, Louis Le Bisque and Pepe Detorteau. Definitely a bit of a longer guide. I don't know, might have some shorter guides, might have some longer guides, but I do like these guides. And especially for companions like this, which I feel like definitely have some untapped potential. So yeah, in my opinion, Pepe Detorteau is worth it if to buy on maybe like Privateer and a Witch Doctor if you want to use. If you want another high-range companion and you want some combo potential, it is very good for 2v2s and 3v3s. So yeah, overall, I think a pretty underrated companion. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed, if you learned anything you enjoyed, I would really appreciate you guys to subscribe and leave a like. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.